Kirk Ferentz's squad now shut out in their second straight game. In fact, the Hawkeyes have not scored since a late game-winning field goal against Nebraska on Black Friday. That's 8 straight quarters of scoreless football. 55,646 strong here at Kinnick Stadium. And no, not for the football team, but instead for the Iowa women's basketball team. Quite the historic day here in Iowa City, setting the all-time NCAA record for women's basketball. It's been the storyline all year. The Iowa Hawkeye defense doing everything they could tonight, and the Iowa offense just still continues to struggle. On Tuesday, head coach Kirk Ferentz said that this Iowa Hawkeye team had to play perfect if they wanted to compete against number 2 Michigan. And tonight, this football game was far from perfect. Lisa Bluter has preached a why not us mentality. She said all year, this team is a team of destiny. And now the Iowa Hawkeyes are just 40 minutes shy of a national championship. You could definitely tell that head coach Kirk Ferentz was frustrated this afternoon, but he really just kept referencing the next 4 games of the season. In fact, when he was asked about his future here as a Hawkeye, he was non-committal and just kept saying they have 4 more games left to play this year, and right now that's what he's focused on. Here at Brady Street Stadium, the Davenport Central Captains do the coin flip at the 50-yard line on Friday nights. But for one senior, it's not about being here. Instead, it's about where he came from. Total domination from the North Scott Lady Lancers at the volleyball state tournament. North Scott lost the first set in the quarterfinals, but they never let it happen again, winning 9 straight sets and claiming their first state title since 1985. QB1 Caden McNamara went down on the second drive of the game on a no-contact play. He had to be helped off the field, not being able to put pressure on his left leg. Ultimately was taken into the locker room. Good evening and welcome to the Score Sunday. I'm Camille Gear. It's football galore tonight. We're more than halfway through the high school football season, with some teams still undefeated and the college level just as exciting in week 4. Gatorade is synonymous with some of the best names in sports, from Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, and everyone in between. This morning, Gatorade added their newest spokesperson who continues to grow the game of women's basketball. 2 top teams in the state going shot for shot. Pagnano again would knock down back-to-back triples. Pleasant Valley goes up 4. North punches back though. Michaela Farnham says, guess what? I can do that too. She nails back-to-back triples as well. Then all of a sudden we're tied at 38. Now Iowa just 1 win shy from a Big Ten West title. The injury bug strikes again. Projected All-American defensive back and punt returner Cooper DeJean went down in practice this morning. In a statement from the University of Iowa, DeJean suffered a lower leg injury, and a proposal to move to district football in the state of Illinois has been voted down for the second time in 4 years, leaving the landscape of high school football looking the same for right now. And since there's tailgating before football games, we figured we would do a little bit of tailgating of our own, break in the patio, and get ready for week 1. Big Ten play has officially arrived for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Hawks not dipping their toes in. Instead, they're just diving right into a top 25 conference showdown. Yeah. You know the story about last year, 0-4, 3-6 finish, missing the playoffs. I mean, how much did last year's season drive the offseason and the beginning part of this year? Fun it's definitely been watching the hometown kid, Tommy Kuhl, make his PGA Tour debut like you just said. But the cool part about this is the special group he's had along the way. You've heard of the Tiger Tracker, but through the first 2 rounds of the JDC,
I got this at River Hills Country Club.
A sea of Illini.
I mean, he wanted to be an Illini for, I can't even tell you how long.
I know it.
Blue and orange invading TPC Deer Run.
This is awesome. Just being here, it's honestly special.
It's been crazy. I mean, I figured there'd be some people out here, but some of the people that have come out, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? It's been unbelievable. It's really special.
On the Tommy Tracker.
Let's go, TK.
The Illini standout playing less than 100 miles from his hometown.
We have so many memories coming and growing up here. You come and play with the John Deere Classic course. That's a really cool thing to do, where all the pros play and everything like that.
A tournament he's attended since he was just 12 years old.
I remember coming as a kid with my dad and brother, and those were memories I'll never forget.
Growing up in Illinois, like Illinois golf was kind of the cool thing.
An opportunity he'd only dreamed about.
He had a big vision of this is what he wanted. When he came here, I think he envisioned himself walking these fairways.
Now, a reality.
This is all he's ever wanted.
It's been awesome.
I mean, I'm a loss for words right now, but gonna keep grinding. I'll be back.
Even though it's Cool's PGA Tour debut,
How proud we were of him and how hard he's worked.
it certainly won't be the last time.
Just the beginning, we hope. Yeah.
We hear
And from Morton, Illinois, Tommy Cool.
Now, golf definitely runs in the family. Older brother Pete actually played golf at Wisconsin.
Oh, a Badger.
Pretty cool, right? Yeah, Matt, it was an interesting day in Iowa City, to say the least. Just 24 hours after Iowa announcing that offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz will not return next year, head coach Kirk Ferentz, the lone Hawkeye, meeting with media this afternoon, and quite different from our normal Tuesday media day. Ferentz continued to stress the focus remains on his team's final 4 games, but the longtime head coach did voice his frustration, not because of Suns Bryant's fate, but the timing of the decision. Let's hear from the head Hawk himself.
My policy has typically been to evaluate everything, players, coaches, all that, postseason, because in season we've got a lot on our plates. And, that's just kind of been the nature of it. And it's been that way probably since I got started full-time in '81. Obviously, we have a biological relationship, and I'm very fond of him. But I've had a lot of strong relationships with a lot of people that worked here, and that's one of the beauties of what we do. So if this were anybody on our staff that fell into this category, I'd feel bad about it. But I'm guessing they would encourage us to keep moving forward, too, and that's it's just what you have to do.
Head coach Kirk Ferentz has been with the Hawkeye program for 24 years, and when asked about if this decision does affect his future with the program, he was non-committal.
My plans are like they always are, to worry about this game and bigger scale, bigger picture for these 4 games. And that's where my focus has been this entire season. Obviously, it's more than 4 games a week ago or 2 weeks ago. That's what I think about. And that's each and every year. It's been pretty consistent, just like the other things I referenced.
Coach Ferentz will focus on the football side of things, but this decision was made by interim athletic director Beth Getz. She did take time this afternoon to meet with the media as well. She declined to give specifics on how things went down, but she did take the time to thank Brian for his commitment to the black and gold.
I think anytime people are involved in any decision, it's difficult, right? And certainly those that mean a lot, to our university, our institution. And so that's always a piece of a puzzle. But at the end of the day, you make the best decision you can, and what you think the best interest is of the program and the institution. So I hope everyone joins me, all Hawks, in really showing their appreciation to what Brian had, his commitment and passion, what Brian's done as a student athlete, as an alum, and as a coach of this program.
There was some football news today as well. Kirk Ferentz announcing this afternoon that Deacon Hill will be the starter against Northwestern at Wrigley Field this week. But for now, reporting in Iowa City, Camille Gear, WQAD News 8 Sports. Here at Brady Street Stadium, the Davenport Central Captains do the coin flip at the 50-yard line on Friday nights. But for one senior, it's not about being here. Instead, it's about where he came from.
I'm gonna bring it, let's go.
A senior season for Central's Davion Williams almost didn't happen.
There you go.
There are some kids that no matter how much you try to help, they're not gonna change.
From failing classes to getting kicked out of games.
I get emails or hear about administration problems with them. I go to basketball games and see problems there.
Locked in, ready to go.
He showed so many signs of greatness as far as like leading at school, leading at practice. He showed it in glimpses, but then he would do other stupid things that would just be like, what are you doing?
Most of the poor choices I made was just based off me not thinking. I was just being selfish. That don't go with our motto, we before me.
There we go.
Davion's future as a Blue Devil was in jeopardy.
Enough was enough, and we had a coaches meeting.
He was like, Davion, you need to get it together. They're looking on not letting you play your season, your senior season.
He was on the chopping block.
I cried that night, like I didn't feel wanted, kinda. But I was like, I give them every reason for them to not want me on their team.
Davion knew to stay on the football team, something had to give.
I had to do what I needed to do to continue playing for this team because I love them so much.
The off-season and summer workouts brought a clean slate. Better grades, volunteering in the community, and being a better teammate.
I made sure I showed up to everything on time. I was being more of a leader, getting all the young guys involved. I was picking up kids that couldn't make it to our morning lifts.
Oh, yeah!
a change his coaches noticed quickly.
At first, it was like a week, and we're like, okay, like we'll see, and like it never stopped.
The first time I heard Berg say, I'm proud of you, I was like, I'm doing this right. Like, I really feel the love that this team is like showing.
Davion didn't just want to play. He had a bigger goal for his senior year, captain.
I don't really know, because like, what if I don't get it? Like, but I stepped out and I did it, I applied.
An application and a speech in front of the coaching staff.
His speech blew us away, and it was straight from the heart. WWBS, he goes, guys, what would Berg say? Him putting that into perspective, saying like, I can lead even if it's off the field, because there were some guys that were gonna make a poor choice, and I told them, and then they all said, you know what, you're right.
A vote that came from teammates and coaches.
Every day I prove to them that this is what I want, and this is the role I'm capable of having.
A week before the first game, head coach Alex Berg announced this year's captains.
When he said my last name, I was like, oh yeah, I got it. You know, I did what it takes, and I feel like I won that day.
This is one of those stories that you're glad it does turn, because that doesn't always happen. And so like, even if you get one of these every few years, that it's worth it. And that's why we do what we do as far as coaching high school.
Captain.
How you doing? Doing good. How you doing?
A title and a dream that's now a reality.
I've been dreaming about just walking out at the 50, shaking other captains' hands, being there as a leader on this team, just to like live out my dream. It feels unreal.
Good luck.
More than being named captain or turning his grades around, Davion hopes it shows others that you too can change.
It feels right. It feels like I'm turning into that young man that my parents and that the rest of this foundation wanted.
Davion, you are on the path of where you're gonna be a story to be told to all these players for years to come.
A game and a team that saved him.
If I didn't have football, I don't know where I'd be.
Davion says he dreams of playing college football, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll see him on the sidelines coaching a team of his own.